Hey, this is Rick Casalge, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, what I wanted to go through is 5 steps to knee pain arthritis relief, and really focusing in on home remedies. Now, the first thing to do, the first step ends up being icing the knees. And it could be one knee or both knees. And how I recommend for you to ice the knees is get a bag of ice or some frozen vegetables, put them into a towel and place them up against your knee or knees. And you're going to try it there for 5 minutes and then see how it ends up feeling. What you should end up feeling is decrease in inflammation and then also a numbing, so a decrease in pain from that icing. If that ends up being good, then progress on to 10 minutes. And how often you can end up icing, you can end up icing a number of times throughout the day. What I find ends up being best is after activity. And activity can be from going out for a walk or from exercising or from doing garden work in the backyard. Now, the second step ends up being decreasing the stress on your knees. So look at what you're doing throughout the day, and one stressful thing that we end up doing on our knees is standing. So look to see if you're standing unnecessarily, because if you can move from standing to sitting, that decreases the stress on your knees, and that decrease in stress decreases the pressure in your knees and allows your knee pain to decrease and your knee joints to recover. Now, one point when it comes to sitting, look at how you're sitting. If you're sitting with your feet underneath your seat, the more that you end up bending the knee, the more stress that's in the knee, the more knee pain you're going to get. So what you want to do is straighten out that leg so there's less stress on the knee. Now, moving on to the third step is working on that range of motion in the knee. And Alex is going to demonstrate. And what you want to do is do what you can to maintain and improve that range of motion in the knee. So Alex is having a seat. She's going to bring the knee up and then pull the knee towards her, looking at increasing that bending in the knee. And then she's going to bring the leg down and then straighten it out and try to work on straightening out that knee in that other direction. And then she's going to go again. Good. Now, if it's too much for you to grab the front of the knee, what you can end up doing is grabbing underneath and pulling the knee towards you, and that puts less stress on the knee. So that's the range of motion. What I recommend for you to do that when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity. Sets 1, repetitions 5, movement, smooth controlled movement. You saw how Alex had done it. And when it comes to intensity, what we're looking at is just working on that movement and improving that movement within that knee joint. Now, moving on to the next step, which the fourth step, it ends up being isolating strength. And there's kind of 2 parts to the strength side. So the isolation strength is you can end up using resistive tubing. So Alex is grabbing the tubing, and this tubing you can end up getting anywhere, any department store you should be able to get this tubing. It'll either be circular like this, or it'll be a flat tubing. So what Alex is going to do, very similar to the other exercise, she's going to have the tubing around her foot, she's going to straighten out the leg. Good, and then bringing it back. Good. So what we're working on is strengthening all the muscles around the knee, because if we can strengthen the muscles around the knee, we can decrease the stress on the knee and decrease knee pain. So what oftentimes happens with knee pain is it's painful, the knee ends up being painful, so people end up doing less activity because everything hurts, and that's oftentimes because they're doing the wrong activity. So we want to do activities that are good for the knee that you can do, and this is something that you can end up doing, the strengthening side of things. So this is kind of like 4 part A. And when it comes to sets, reps, and time, you're looking at doing an intensity. Sets 1, repetitions, you can start off with 5, then you can progress on to 10. When it comes to time, smooth controlled movement, just like Alex is doing, with a good stop at the end position, so 1 to 2 seconds. And then coming back to the start. And the intensity, you want to feel that you're working the muscles around the knee. And when it's better to, if it's easy for you to do 10 repetitions, or if it's still easy for you to get up to 20 repetitions, increase the intensity of the tubing. So you can either grab more of the tubing, or you can jump up to a harder type of tubing, a tubing that ends up having more resistance. Now, kind of the second part of the strengthening side, so kind of part 4B, is working on your whole body strength. So get Alex to stand up, and what you're going to do is like a quarter squat. So you're standing, feet are about hip width apart. You can bring your hands out front for like counterbalancing, and then you're going to kind of squat down, good, and back up. So you're squatting down to what point you can that's pain-free, and then you're coming back up. Key things to remember is you're not squatting forward and having your knees shoot forward. What you're doing is squatting and bringing that seat back, so it's almost like you're reaching for a chair and sitting back in that chair. And with that tweak, we're working the knees, we're working the muscles around the knee, but then we're also working the muscles in the glutes in the seat, which is what we want to do, because strong glutes and seat muscles end up decreasing the stress on the knee. And then lastly, the fifth, what I would end up recommending is looking at taking something that will end up helping with your joint pain. So this has been a common question that my clients have asked. So I ended up putting together, I formulated and put together a product called Joint Complex 4000 that ends up helping with joint pain. So you can get more information about that down below in the description area. So there you go. That ends up being 5 steps to knee pain, arthritis relief. Give those 5 steps a go, and then let me know how it is. Now, if you want some of my other best tips when it comes to relieving knee pain, click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tricks That Fight Knee Pain and Tightness. Click right here. Let me know where to send that brand new free report, and I'll send you that brand new free report right away. Now, if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, or smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will end up being exercisesforinjuries.com/knees. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comment section. If you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. Now, one last thing before you go, hit subscribe so you'll end up getting future pain relieving videos.